Hey besties! Welcome back to the Weekly Download, the show where we take complicated world news and break it down so it actually matters to your rice and beans life. Let the download commence.
This show is sponsored by Ignite Media.
All right, first up is school tech news that actually might help you learn something instead of just doom scrolling TikTok. Google just rolled out something called guided learning in its Gemini AI, designed to be more than a magic answer machine. It actually teaches you things step by step and checks whether you're understanding them. So instead of just typing solve this math problem and moving on, it'll break down concepts, ask follow-up questions, and even take you through visuals or short quizzes. Imagine telling AI, teach me how to code a basic website. And it doesn't just give you a finished site, but helps you understand how each line works. That's the vibe. And it's less finish your homework in 5 seconds and more let's actually learn this. Students are hyped because it creates study guides and flashcards out of your own material so your brain actually remembers things next semester. And it's available right in the Gemini app or browser tool. So if you're prepping for uni, leveling up your skills, or just curious, this kind of feature might finally make AI a study buddy and not just a cheat sheet. Now, onto something more travel and life impacting. Big news if you've been thinking of moving to the US. The State Department announced it is suspending immigrant visa processing for 75 countries, and Belize is on that list. This isn't about your vacation or student visa. Those are still being processed normally for now, but immigrant visas like green cards are on pause while US authorities review public assistance screening procedures. Translation: if you've been dreaming of packing your whole life into a suitcase and starting fresh in the States, expect delays and uncertainty until that review is done. It's not a ban yet, but it's definitely a slowdown. But here's the Belizean silver lining. The European Union just approved a 5-year multiple entry Schengen visa arrangement for Belizeans with biometric passports. That means if you want to go live, study, work, or just explore Europe without applying for a visa every year, you can just do that. Instead of being stuck in processing limbo, Belizeans can now aim for extended travel across a whole bunch of European countries without all the bureaucracy every couple of months. That feels like a win. Besties, let's talk about something way too many of us are doing: the side hustle. This one hits a little too close because I recently experienced what it means to be doing too much at the price of still feeling like I'm not doing enough. At the end of the day, whether you're selling custom teas online, tutoring English, or driving for extra cash, side gigs are everywhere. But are they helping you or secretly hurting you? First, the good news. Research shows that side hustles can actually boost your confidence and skills. A study published by the Academy of Management suggests that having a side hustle can give people a sense of psychological empowerment, meaning it can enrich how they perform in their main job and help them feel more in control of their career trajectory. That's real value beyond just extra cash. Plus, here in Belize, a big chunk of workers are already doing some form of non-traditional work. Official data shows that around 36% of employed people are informally employed, many of whom are essentially their own bosses or doing side gigs. That means hustling isn't weird here. It's a part of our economy. But it's not all grind culture glitz. There's also mounting evidence that hustling too much can hurt your mental health and well being. One recent academic article on side hustle insecurity, published in the Journal of Business and Psychology, found that when people feel financially insecure and their side hustle doesn't feel stable, it can reduce their sense of control and negatively affect mental health and skill development. So, if your hustle feels shaky or just adds stress to an already busy life, it might actually be doing more harm than good. Beyond formal research, broader surveys and reporting on side hustle culture show patterns many of us already feel intuitively: burnout, sleep loss, and strained relationships. Side hustlers, especially Gen Z, often report exhaustion and stress from juggling gigs on top of jobs or school, with many normalizing burnout as just a part of the process. So, how can you tell if your hustle is helping or hurting? When it helps, you're gaining skills that transfer to your main goals. You're making money without sacrificing sleep or social life. You feel in control of how much you're working. When it hurts, your hustle feels like a second job that chips away at your well being. You're consistently tired, anxious, or skipping important rest. You're doing work that adds stress without adding real security or growth. In Belize, where formal jobs can be hard to come by and informal or self employment is common, hustles can be a smart survival strategy. But the goal shouldn't be just more hustle always. The goal should be work that supports your life, not erodes it. So, next time you're grinding after work, ask yourself, is this building my future or just burying my weekends? That's your weekly download reality check. That's all for today's download. We covered AI that actually helps you learn instead of just answering stuff. Visa news that could change how Belizeans travel and migrate. And a side hustle reality check that hits closer than your sense of impending doom. Remember to check your info and your change. Catch you next week. Download complete.
The views and opinions expressed in the weekly download are solely those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Ignite Limited.